Silencio, por favor. Okay, cámara corriendo. Acción.
This is Cecilia speaking. I'm the director, and that's me in the blue. And Ralf, who's here beside me, is in the white shirt with the camera. He's the director of photography. And that's the day we were shooting musicians, a scene in which they have a good time on a seaside street. The one in the red is Andrea, the associate producer. And there with the jockey cap, that's Tato, our sound man. And Aidita was our production coordinator. And there she is. That's Tato again. This is just a lady that didn't like us shooting around her place. And that's Gonzalo, our driver.
Well, I'm Ralf, the director of photography, and this is kind of the sort of problems we encounter day by day. The door of the van falling off.
This is when we were shooting a feast called the Feast of St. Lazarus, and it was a very hot day. We followed the procession into the church. This is where we're shooting inside one of the girls' houses. We took turns with the girls, taking them home and interviewing them, and there Ralf and I are discussing the following shot, which was in a courtyard.
Spaces are pretty, tight in Cuban houses. Not in this one necessarily, but some of the places were really hard to shoot. We just didn't know where to place the camera for the shoot.
And that particular shot, we were getting an early morning shot for the opening montage, and I think that it turned out really well. The girls were wonderful to work with. They really gave good interviews. That's Aidita, being a little devil as usual, and that's me. We work long hours, 16-hour days, as you can see. And we also had a lot of fun, right, Ralf?
Oh, definitely. It was a crew that got along pretty well. It was very important for the good production.
And that was our mascot. Cubans have a great sense of humor. They're very relaxed to work with, and at the same time, they're very professional. They're not the stereotype of Latino. They're punctual.
Where are we here? The Basilica, right?
Yeah, this is the Basilica with the headquarters for the orchestra, and Andrea, who's there, and I are setting up the next day's shoot and making sure that the continuity is working, because the whole show builds up to a grand finale, and we just wanted to make sure that we didn't screw up some of the sequences.
And that's you with your monitor that you like so much?
I love that monitor because it allows me to be far away from the director of photography, but actually see everything that he's doing. It's like a little spy thing. And it's just great because it really, you make sure that you get all the shots that you need, and everyone's in sync. Tell me a little bit, Ralf, about the editing, because you had to make sure that everything was in sync when you were editing.
Yeah, there was a tough part, even though we took many precautions in the set here, just marking the scenes, like in this one where we are with Zenaida at her home. But yeah, definitely editing was tough. It's no narration, it's all music.
That's right, and you had to make sure that the bow or whatever was in the right place for the right note. Here we're trying to get an early morning look, which we did with lighting. And Zenaida it's the scene where she gets up early in the morning and prepares her day. Here Zenaida's, she went back to her old school, and we finally didn't use this shot because it just didn't work. So she didn't think it worked either. And here we're shooting Camilo, Zenaida's husband, and that was a scene where it's raining, and he looks out. They were good to work with. They were a good couple. Here we're fooling around
This is
again.
camera A fighting camera B.
Ralf and Aidita had a very special relationship. You'll see. This is something that we shot and we really liked it, but it just didn't fit into the documentary. It's the Feast of St. Barbara. That's me getting my aura cleaned. I was hoping it would make me lose weight, but it didn't. In Cuba, there's syncretism, which is a combination of Catholic and African religions. This guy becomes possessed, and it's sort of a cathartic experience. It was actually a cathartic experience for all of us because we really got caught up in the music. And there's a guy who's possessed again.
Strong scenes. It was even tough to shoot in there. You felt you were like invading their space so much, but they were very friendly and open to us.
So here we're at Varadero Beach, which is a place where a lot of tourists go. But we decided to shoot there because it's just a beautiful spot. And Anolan's mother, the violist there, works at Varadero. So we got her interview and her playing there. And this is the scene that we shot at Salao. We got underwater shots here.
Cecilia, lo tiene en cubano, instructor.
We're just making a joke about the Cuban accent there. And we're preparing to put the camera inside the underwater cave.
It took a whole day of just preparations. Technically, it was difficult, and also we had to have a lot of security concerns to be addressed.
Now, actually, I'm a little afraid of sharks, so I was out there on a little float.
Why did you put that camera underwater, Cecilia? What was the purpose?
I just thought the underwater scenes would represent a part of Cuba that was very beautiful. It went so well, the flow of the water with that particular music. And also, she has the body of a statue. She's like a mermaid, although guys would probably say something different. This is the day of the concert, and we're in the basilica making all the preparations to shoot the concert. And lighting was a major concern.
Major concern not only to light the place, but also the problems with the basilica is like a museum. You have to be so careful with all the elements that are in it.
Took a lot of coordination, and we hired a remote unit with 6 monitors, and of course we were shooting with 6 cameras, 5 stationary and 1 roaming camera. So Ralf had an opportunity to use his Steadicam.
Yeah, the Steadicam was our favorite toy. Just give us very nice, smooth shots.
So I worked closely with with a Cuban director that was directing the 5 stationary cameras. And this is our last day. We look very smiley and happy, but we're a little sad because we all became very good friends. You know, the crew and the musicians, we were like a big family. And so we were a little sad to leave, for the shoot to end.